Hello guys, let us see how we make some moves. So now I started a game here because I wanted to demonstrate like a full game. Hope I finish it. So I've started this game, then I've analyzed. So you see my moves below there. We have those colors. The colors that are marked in red, it means those were blunders. The move that you made that could make you lose a game. Then there are those ones that are marked in, is that yellow? Those are mistakes. Okay, they're not like grave mistakes, but they're mistakes, meaning that you could have made a better move. So as you can see, the opponent has already played. He has played e4, his move e4. So to counter that move, I played e5. You remember when I told you that whoever controls the center first has a more advantage. So I played e5 to prevent him from further advancing. Then what did he do? He played d4. So playing that d4, he has brought that pawn like into my mode there, because you see the spot that he has placed it. I can pick it with my black pawn already. I said that the pawns move vertical, but they pick horizontally. They pick side by side. So here I could just pick it, okay? But if I pick, he won't let that lay down. He's going to pick with the queen. So he's going to pick with the queen. See, so that what we have done, we have just exchanged pieces. Nobody has advantage there. So what I did not pick. They say when the deal is too good, you think twice. So I thought twice, so I decided not to pick. Instead, I defended my pawn, so that if he picks, I will pick yet another exchange. So that was not the best move either for him to pick, but for me, my pawn is defended. So I defend my pawn. So what did he do next? I played knight c6. So knight c6, let's see what he did. He further attacked me, which was a possibility. I knew that could happen. So he moved and attacked my knight further. Instead of him picking, he could have picked. He could have picked. See, that's where he was initially. He could have decided to pick, then I'll just pick it. That's an exchange. But instead of him picking, he decided to go for the big dogs. So he attacked my knight. Losing a knight for a pawn, that's it's bad. You're losing. So let's see what he did. He attacked my knight. Now here I have several moves to make. Okay, I can play bishop and check the king up there like that, which is a very good move. I could have checked that. But what would this person do? He will just defend his bishop with this pawn here, like that, and attack my bishop. So I have two strong pieces that are under attack. The bishop would be picked by this pawn here, and the knight, which is about to be picked by this pawn here. So that means checking up there will not be a good move. Have you seen why? Because when I check, instead of removing this knight here, I would have exposed my two pieces. So here I can only save one piece. I can only retreat this bishop here. Is saying that if I retreat this bishop here, I lose this knight, just like that. Then I'm just going to gain advantage of picking that pawn there. So I've lost a knight and I've picked a pawn. That means I'm weaker now because I have one strong piece down. Yeah. So that was not a good move. That's why I did not play bishop there. Instead, I played knight d4. Did I do that? I played knight d4 like that, which was a blunder. That was a mistake. See the color? It was a mistake. Instead, I could have played my knight e7. That would be a very good move. Now let us see why that one that I said this is a blunder. This is a blunder because the next move of this knight, can you spot the next move? It will be here, of which there's a white bishop over there. I would return back here and be picked, or come right here and be picked too. Yeah. But how will that be possible? It will be possible depending with the opponent's move. So we see what the opponent is going to play. The best move of the opponent would be he will play c3 here and attack my knight, because the next thing is to pick the knight. That means I'll have to remove that knight there. You get it? So, but what did he do? He messed up. He messed up. He played that move there, c4. c4. The best move would be c3, but instead he's so keen on developing his pawns. So he plays c4, and my knight is free from danger. You see, if he could have played c3, then I won't have any other option. It's either I leave this knight to be picked, or I try to salvage it. How would I salvage it? By moving it, and it has nowhere to go. Okay, so I could have moved it here, which is useless. This bishop will pick it, you see, or I could have returned it where it came from, which is useless. This one could have just picked it, okay, or I could have moved it here again, which is still useless. It could have been picked like that, yeah, or I could have moved it here, which is useless. It could have been picked. Are you seeing how the pawns are picking now? Yeah. So I got an advantage that the opponent is so keen on developing his pawns. His concern is to control the center, and he's not caring about my moves, so I can make even moves that I suspect he won't note that I've made a blunder. Okay, so he played that. Do you remember when I said I played here? It was a mistake. I could have come here, but my mistake now is not counting because the opponent also has done a mistake. Instead of attacking my knight, he continued developing, and he has blocked the bishop from now navigating the whole file. The file for the white bishop is now not free. So what did I do next? We just about to see what I played next. I played that. See, I played pawn d6. I played d6, but I could have played this. See, I could have reinforced that knight with the black bishop that way, so that I defend that file, so that even if I lose this pawn here, I'll still have this bishop defending my knight. So if I could have played here, my opponent would have attacked that bishop, probably with this move of the pawn, you see. But if he attacks, say if he decided to attack like that, I'll just pick it and check him. You see, he's under check. So you'll have to first defend that king before you make any other move. He either defends with the queen, which will be a grave decision to make, So you want to make such kind of a decision, because I'll just pick that queen immediately, yeah. Or he use his bishop, so that will be the best move for him to do, because if I pick, he will just pick with the knight. I can pick him, then he picks me with the knight, or even he just pick it with the queen, like that. So that is an exchange. We haven't done anything there. We have just exchanged pieces. We have lost each the same piece. So I did not play that move. I did not play that move. Instead, I played that, which is a good move. Reason, I'm trying to open for the queen and my bishop in the white file. See, now the bishop in the white file has now a free file over. So let's see what the opponent did. He played that b3. He played b3, which is good, but he could have played the bishop. You see, he could have played the bishop there, reinforcing his center. You see, he has backed this pawn, which he had no backup, and this pawn, which was backed from there. But bishop being at d3 is better than when he's up there f1. You see, because at d3 is now safeguarding two pawns that were hanging. There was this pawn that was hanging and this that was being defended from the further end. So he brought it in. He could have brought it in the middle to reinforce the defense of the two pawns. So, but he did not do that. What he did, he decided, which is equally a good move. It's still a good move. So what did I do? I moved. I played my knight d6. I played knight d6, but I could have played this pawn here. Okay, I could have played c5. Reason why I could have done that, to reinforce that knight. You see, initially the knight is being protected by only one pawn. So playing this here, it now has two pawns marking the square of the knight, like that. But instead, like I said, it was a live game. It was a live game, so I could not have thought of that. So instead, what did I do? I played. I'll tell you the reason why I played that. Because I'd already seen this. I've already seen the queen over here. So I played this, wanting to play my bishop at g4. You see, if I play my bishop at g4, I'll have an opportunity to attack this knight here. I mean the queen. I will have an opportunity to attack the queen over here. But that one depends with what my opponent plays next. So after I played that knight, are you seeing these three pieces here? 1, 2, 3. I haven't moved them yet. And have you seen that I developed my pawns, 2 of them first, then I removed the knight to reinforce and to help me control my center early enough. Okay, so I removed that. Next thing will be to develop this bishop here, because the bishop can only move to this square, so I need to open him up more. This one is okay. The queen, I can bring him in the center so that he can have several files that he can navigate from. But now all those depends with what the opponent moves. So let's see what the opponent decided to do after that play. So you see where I was targeting. I wanted to go here. I wanted to go here because this knight has marked this spot here, the white spot here. So he saw it. That's why he has protected that place already. But still, he could have come and reinforced this place with the bishop. Remove the bishop here, make the bishop useful and start navigating, could have come here. So after that, I had to change my plan of attacking the queen using my bishop. So what did I do? I moved my black bishop because I want him to find more ways to navigate, but that was equally a mistake. According to the analysis, the best move could have been I could have played my knight there. You see, with the knight here, the next move he would come to this center here, and that would mean that I've taken control of the center already. Yeah, but instead, what did I do? I was focusing on developing my bishop. So I played bishop e7. Then after I played that, there's something called castling. Castling is when you have not moved your queen and the rooks of either side. When you have not moved your king and the rook. So you prepare where your king, where you want your king to go. You can take your king to the right here, or you can take him this other side. So the reason of me opening this bishop here is because there's something I want to do here. There's something I want to do with the king and the rook. Okay, so I developed. Then let's see what the opponent did. What did the opponent do? Higher. He finally did. He developed his knight, attacking my knight at the center. You see, he has brought this knight to attack my knight. So I have two options. I can pick this knight and he will pick it with the bishop, or pick it with the queen, or pick it with the king. Have you seen? Okay. But now, why would I go there and yet if he decide to pick me in the next move, I can pick him and we'll have an exchange. So let's see what I did instead. Instead of picking the knight, you don't just pick because the item is there to be picked. You look ahead. You strategize. So let's see what I did. I finally made the move that was supposed to make long time ago. You see, reinforcing that knight. Okay, but like I said, I could have picked that knight. We'll do an exchange. Yeah, so let us see what he did. Let's see what he did. He picked. I knew that was coming. Initially, for him to do that, he was to eliminate me from the center. So you remember this move that I said I could have played this move here so that I come back to the center. I missed that. And now that my knight has been picked, I have less control of the center. But there's no problem. I'll still pick. I'll just pick him like that. So it's an exchange. He got a knight, I have a knight. But it is a disadvantage to me because you see, there's some doubling that has happened. 2 pawns in one file. That makes them useless. Yeah? So 2 pawns in one file, though there's this one here, but that will make it useless. So he came, picked, and I picked him like that. So let us see what he did next. He finally brought the bishop at the center, which he could have done long time ago. Yeah, so he brought the bishop to the center, enhancing the reinforcement of those 2 pawns that are developed earlier. Then which move did I make? I castled. That is called castling. Like I said, when the below file is open and you have your queen, you remember when I did this, the bishop was here, then I moved him. Okay, I moved him back there because I wanted to castle. I wanted to push my king to this side that has not been opened, because as you can see, this place is opened and the king is kinda naked, would say that, because these files are open. So I want to push him further where he's defended by the 2 pawns. So this is called castling. It's a null move. It's a 0-0 move. You exchange. So here the king will move 2 steps, then the rook will jump this other side and settle just next to the king. So the king will move here and the rook will come here. So you start with the king first, you bring him here, and automatically the rook shifts. That is if you're playing the computer. So you see, so I've castled. The best thing for my opponent would be to castle too. Sometimes the best move is to counter what your opponent is doing. He could have castled too, okay, but he did not. Instead, and you see what has happened to his king now. The king has opened files surrounding him all over. That is very dangerous. So what he did, yet another mistake, he progresses with that pawn that is just next to the rook. It's called the rook pawn. See, that was a mistake. Instead, he could have castled. So making mistake is an advantage to your opponent. So let's see how or what I played. I moved, but still I had an opportunity of bringing this knight here and taking it back to the center here, attacking this bishop. Yeah, but since now you're in live game, the hormones are reacting differently. So you just make a move, yet there was a best move, because you don't want to like sit up and think. You make a move in a hurry and you find yourself making a mistake. Else I could have done this, then come here to the center. So I made this, which was not the best move. A good move, it was not a good move. So let's see. He attacked. Okay, you see what he has attacked my knight, because I decided not to remove that knight there. So here, if I progress and now take the knight, he will just pick my bishop and I'll pick his bishop. We have done nothing there. We have just exchanged pieces. Yeah, that's just an exchange of pieces. So that's not the best move to do either to me. So let's see what I did. I attacked. Okay, I attacked, but according to the analysis, it would be better if I moved the knight and allow this exchange to happen. So I attacked that bishop. Now, the next move of the opponent and my next move matters a lot. Let's see what the opponent did. He moved that knight. He's just developing because he needs to develop, right? Now, you remember when I moved this pawn here purposely to attack the black bishop, yeah? But I did not do that, okay? Another mistake. See, I decided to open my queen. I could have done this long time ago in the beginning of the game. The best move here for me was to pick this bishop over here. The best move was this. Pick the bishop. Okay? Maybe you'd pick, then I would defend myself here. If he picks and attack my knight, I'm supposed to block this file. You see this free file? There's no piece on it. So I'm supposed to block it like that. But now, I did not go to that because initially I failed to pick the bishop. So I did not pick the bishop. Instead, I decided to move the queen. So see what he did now. He's a copycat. The reason why he's doing this, he's doubling the queen and the bishop. Just in case this pawn is removed here, he can come and check me down here. Okay, but before he comes to check me here, you will first have to remove this knight, because this knight is marking this spot here. Okay, so he moved that, and I moved this, which was a blunder again. The best move, I could have exchanged this. You see, this bishop is still here and attack, but I'm doing nothing about it. I could have taken it. Okay, now what did he do? He also did the same. So this is the person who is copying what you're doing. Then I progressed, I retreated. Reason why I retreated there is because I wanted to retreat this bishop here and remove this knight here from danger. But instead of doing all this, I could have just removed this threat, the one that is making me make all these moves which are not necessary. I could have just picked that bishop there and I'll be good to go. Now, I don't know what he's planning. He has just taken back the knight where it came from. That's a dead move. So after that, seriously, that move, I don't know what was it for, but what was in my mind is I wanted to make this move here. I wanted to make this move. That's why I brought the bishop there, because you see there are exchanges that are about to happen here, and you have to position your pieces in a way that when the exchanges happen, you're the one who is in advantage. Okay, so I was planning to see, this was the move I was going to make, but look at it. Look what could have happened. He could have picked. Okay, and are you seeing his rook up there? I could have picked. Okay, after picking, he could have picked, but he won't do that. He will pick me. You see, now who is losing? My rook is gone, right? So for consolation, I'll just do that. Okay, then he would pick. You see, the exchanges has happened. So many exchanges has happened, but who is losing? Myself. So that's why I did not do that. First, I had to reinforce to make sure that I'm in the right side of the exchange. So he retreated the knight, then I moved my bishop there, so that when I fall here and we start picking each other, he'll pick, I pick, he picks, I pick, he pick my rook, I pick his rook, like that. So let's see what move he made there. So he brought the knight there. I don't know what he was thinking, but I knew what he was thinking, because he saw where I was going here to pick. So he decided to reinforce it with the knight. So when I fall there, he picks, I pick, he used the knight, he's finally going to use the bishop, and the rooks will be exchanged here. So I saw that, and I saw that after finishing the exchange program of picking the pieces, I was going to be at a loss. So I had to make another move. So I progressed with the move, and I asked for the exchanges. Because if he now picks, I'll pick, okay? The rook won't be picked now. So he'll pick, then I'll pick, okay? Then what will he do here? What do you think he will do? Maybe he picks. If he picks, I'll go and get the rook up there, and his king will be under check. So he will have to remove the rook. He will have to remove his king, or defend with the queen, and I'll pick the queen. So he won't do that. He'll drop the king, then I'll pick that rook, and I'll be in control of the game. Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's see what went. Do you initially remember when I said that I moved my bishop here so that when the exchange happens, I'll be at the advantage? Let's see whether I was right. Let's see whether I was right. Where were we? We were there. My bishop, then he brought the knight for the exchanges, then I moved my pawn. Now the exchange was just about to happen. See, he picked, just like I had predicted. Then I picked him. Okay, then what did he do? He picked with the knight. That was a grave mistake, opening for me up there. He forgot that I had already positioned my bishop such a way that when that knight moves, I'll pick the rook comfortably. So he did that mistake, and comfortably I picked and checked him. So he cannot make another move until he moved the king. So he'll have to drop the king and I'll pick the rook at the other side. Okay, so he dropped the king, but he could have, now you see why I could have already picked this bishop over here and I keep letting him stay there. So you see what the best move could be was this. That way he'll only lose one rook, because if I pick this bishop, he will pick with the queen. Okay, so but he did not do that, and I gave him an opportunity to do that because I refused to pick his bishop right from the beginning, where I did a blunder. Remember when I said that was a blunder? I could have picked it long time ago, but yet again my opponent has done a blunder. Instead of capitalizing on that bishop, he could have played the bishop, lose the bishop instead of losing the two rooks. Instead, he moved his king like that, and comfortably I'll pick the rook again. I've already controlled the game. See? Capitalize on your opponent's mistake. Punish him when if he's not looking. Now, be careful when you're making moves. Before you make move, think, what will your opponent do? Yeah? You first think, what will your opponent do? Which move and which move will he make before he make this move? Yeah? If you see that you're in advantage, then make the move. So this guy did not do all those. Always ask yourself, what would Magufuli do? Yeah, then you make the move. So let us see. He made a mistake. He has been punished. Let us progress. Now he picked that useless decision. He decided to pick this one. Now, why would he even pick that? I would just pick him, right? Just like that. He could have retreated it back here. Okay, let's see. Instead of picking this, he could have retreated the bishop, remove it from danger, like that. Yeah, I did not do that. I think this guy is a beginner too. No offense, but I think he's a beginner. Those moves, So what he did, instead, look at that file. I've already gone to his side. I'm controlling the whole file with my rook. The whole file. And I have my rook down here which is not used, and my queen has not moved an inch. So let's see. He picked. What did I do? Picked him. I just picked that. So now what is he doing even? What is he even doing? So the game is just about to end. Let's see. Another blunder. See? Another blunder. He opens and he's not exposing the king, he's exposing his queen, because I'm just about to check him and pick. Now, he could have done what? He could have attacked. You see this pawn here that picked the bishop? He could have used the queen to attack it. You see? He could have used the queen to attack. Instead, he removes this pawn, which is the only pawn defending the king and the queen. He dropped it. So what did I do? I just check him here. I check him, I will have to remove the king, then I'll pick. So what did I do? Check. He's under check. So he removed the king, I pick that queen. Yeah? So this is when he figured out that he messed up. The guy resigned. That's where the game ended. He just resigned. Okay?